What's happening? This is Coach Brady with Brady Performance. My wife rides equestrian. She loves everything about getting on the horse, going through the whole challenge of going through the course, all the timing, everything. I pay attention, and it's something I've started to really enjoy going and watching her. So anyways, she came across this from Royal Oak Equestrian. This gentleman throws a dot to somebody on a horse. Let's go ahead and play it, then I'll come back and review it a little more. Let's go. Nice catch. Look at the receiver. Look at it. Look at the excitement. Super fired up about all those things. There's a lot of athleticism that I see here. Obviously, this is not this gentleman's first time throwing a football. You could definitely tell. And then the person that caught the ball, they looked it in. There's a lot of good little coaching points here that we give to kids or the pro players I work with as well. So, okay. So first things first. As far as being in a good pre-pass position, we call this profile position. If we had the other shot from their front side, from this gentleman's front side, we'd be able to see a little bit better and look at the checkpoints. But essentially, you want your feet just outside of your hips. You want your head looking towards the target. Chin on your shoulder is a cue that I've given. You want the ball carriage before you go to load the football or that early cocking phase. You want that ball to be in a comfortable position, anywhere around that right pec. Some people hold it a little lower. In the past, people have been taught to hold it higher. I'm not a huge stickler on that. Let's just get to where we get a good circular pattern in the motion and let the lower half do its job. Okay, so let's go ahead and slow frame it. I'll go about half speed here. All right, so one of the things that I see here when this gentleman begins is notice the crow hop here. He's getting this foot on the backside of his body. This is a strategy I use for deeper throws for younger quarterbacks that don't have the power yet, can't generate the ground force just yet to be able to throw it to the very stretch of what they're able to throw. All right. So I like this strategy, the crow hop, because it also allows this front hip not to swing open. That's a critical checkpoint because if that front hip swings open, you're going to have to count on your upper half to really get you right and direct the ball, which is a strategy I see some coaches teach. And if you've got enough reps underneath you, then you could utilize that strategy and be successful because there are other checkpoints after that initial load that are important. But I still teach the old school, try not to open up the hip too far, remain closed, and then get the hip just outside of where the target is or where the target's going to end up being. Okay. All right. So when we look at this front foot, I call this the balance foot. The back foot is going to be referred to as the power foot. Makes sense. You use the same terminology in boxing. Okay. Balance foot, power foot. So he connects and you'll see through the throw, he's able to absorb through that balance foot. There's other elements of this throw where I would say, hey, you would want to work on, not leaning out too far. You would want to work on that power foot, staying closer to the ground, even connected to the ground if you can. Okay. But I just think this is great execution. Gets the balance foot down quick. For his body spinning out of control, this power leg just swinging out of control and power going in different access points, he does a decent job of keeping his head relatively still, right? He's focused on where he's throwing the ball. It does lean back and it does fall off, but he's got enough rotation around his spine and he's generated enough power. And again, that balance foot is still in the ground. You could see it there. This is where all that energy from that power foot, okay, all the energy from the power foot is going to absorb through this balance side, this balance foot, right? The left side is the balance side. The right side is the power side. He's kind of off axis, but shoot, he did enough things well enough to be able to get enough power on this throw. So just like we don't try to overcoach every little element, obviously we're going to coach up kids or we're going to coach up throwers or athletes. We don't want to overcoach, but we want to at least show them where they can improve. I think there's a lot of good here. He's getting extension high. He's got enough power generating the lower half. I don't love the ball flight, but, we saw where it ended up. It's a little bit wobbly in the air there. You could see it kind of like a wounded duck a little bit, but shoot, man, he gets there. And look at that catch. Look at him take his eyes to the football. We talk about receivers taking a picture of the ball with their eyes. Who is this? Who is that catching the ball, still maintaining his balance with the horse with his right arm, and then able to look it in and catch it and cradle it with his left arm? I mean, good Lord, this is pretty dope. I'd love to do an Instagram live with these people and just kind of talk about this and break it down. Again, my wife is big in equestrian. It's a big part of our life. It gives her a lot of joy and happiness. So I love the fact that she found something that I love, football, with her equestrian world. This gets her attention. So hopefully this video was entertaining. Hopefully, if you're a thrower, if you're an athlete, you have a coach you can go to that can at least point you in the right direction. And not everybody's journey is the same. We all have different signatures in our bodies, and we all have different ways that we move. So try not to overthink things, but I think it's good to have good checkpoints. So there's a lot of good checkpoints that were hit on this throw. There's things that I could continue to talk about. I mean, I could probably fill a whole hour talking about things in regards to this particular throw, but shoot, it was a lot of fun doing this, and it was really a first take. So, critique it if you want, ask any questions. That's part of the fun as well. Like, hey, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Cool. Let's have a conversation. Go ahead and comment. Thank you.